Hello, and welcome back for another great episode of our talk show, Love It or Shove It, where we talk about anything and everything related to love and relationships. And if this is the first time you are tuning in, hello. My name is Irina Portnova. I'm all about manifesting the best love relationship that you can basically have. And I'm here with my co host, who is Bruno Gill, and he is self-love coach. And we want to welcome today to our studio Mayan and Angus, who is a power couple and doing something great in this world. And we are talking about a very fun topic, which we'll tell you later about. But I just wanted for Mayan and Angus to say warm welcome and tell a little bit about yourself and what you're doing in this world.
Well, thank you so much. And it's good to be back. It's been a couple of months, but it's great to reconnect with you guys. We love what you're doing. Mayan and I, we are coming up. Tomorrow is our 5-year anniversary of meeting and getting to know each other. And we had a conversation getting ready for today, kind of unrelated, but I hope you don't mind. No. I'm just going to share.
I know where you're going.
She started sharing with me her experience of watching a podcast with some other famous people and talking about how they just lifted each other up so much. And she started getting emotional about how she has always felt that from me. And I was able to in turn share with her that over the last several days and weeks, I have felt a special amount of gratitude for every time I come home, every time I come in the room. She is like beaming with just gratitude and like excitement and happiness to see me. And I can honestly say from my perspective, we're one day from 5 years together and we've never been more in love. Like I am so grateful for you and the fact that we get to do this work together and are on this journey together.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's Happy crazy. Anniversary. Happy anniversary. And what a beautiful way to actually live the life when you have the similar mission and purpose in life and you are together and connected more than ever. So again, celebrating you because today's conversation is going to be all about the divine duo when your soul share the same assignment. And I feel this is so magical and so beautiful because this is exactly how we connected with Bruno as well. And it's great that the universe always delivers when we are ready to receive. And all right, let's just start talking more about how did you guys meet together and were you actually looking for the partner who would be on the similar mission?
You want to start?
Go for it. I'll add details.
Well, we both come from a background of divorce. And the strange thing is that neither of our parents ever got divorced, but we both experienced divorce. And we met along that journey working on ourselves. And one of the things that we like to say is when you work on you and you become love, you can attract something amazing and build something together. And that's really what we found. Like we were there working on ourselves, met each other along the way on that journey. And as we've continued our own personal journey of healing what we had going on, changing belief systems, updating values, all that kind of stuff, it's easy to love somebody who's doing that work and is able to express love because they have become love. And so we're blessed, in my opinion, because of that. She's so easy to love because she has consistently worked on herself. And if there's an issue that comes up between us, we try to own that. And it's easy to not have to get defensive. It's not have to protect yourself when you know that you each care about each other enough to work on yourself. So it's just incredible.
Yeah. I'll add that, you know, we met each other at an unexpected time, right? Like I wasn't looking for somebody. We were actually at a personal development conference and Angus sat next to me on day one. And this was in Arizona. It was out of state. I wasn't living in Arizona at the time. And so I remember that first day, I was like, I need to start making friends. I don't know anybody here. And so I just turned over to him. I said, hi, I'm Megan. And I just introduced myself just wanting to make friends, right? And Angus was going through his divorce at the time, and he had decided at one point that he was just going to be very authentic and real. And I'm not sure this is the advice that we would give our clients, but within like 5 minutes of us meeting, he basically blurted out like, oh, my life is a mess, like this is going on, that is going on, right? But it was very and I was like, whoa, okay. Nice to meet you too, right? But in that moment, it was refreshing to see someone in his truth, right? Not hiding anything. And throughout that time of training, we got to know each other pretty deep, right? And during the training, we got to do exercises to get to know ourselves. And I think that's one of the tenets of that we teach our clients is we need to know who we are. We need to know what creates fulfillment in love for us, and not just in love, but in other areas of our life. Because if we don't know, then how can we create that? How can we expect other people to know that as well? And how can we co-create that? So I think that's one of these magical moments that brought us together. But yeah, now it's been 5 years.
I just want to add one thing, because I actually do promote doing that, like
Being authentic.
that full authenticity.
Yeah.
And it really only works when you own the mistakes and you're doing something about it.
Yeah.
If you're just talking about how your life is a mess and you kind of are a victim to that, that's not attractive at all. And so really embracing both. This is the facts of my situation, and here's how I'm facing it. Here's what I'm doing about it. And then following through on that. Just talk is cheap, but she was able to see that I was putting in the work and willing to do what it took to get to the bottom of those issues that I was not only like going through, but I was responsible for creating in my life.
Oh my God. I love what you shared, guys, especially the fact like the first and most important thing is to work on ourselves. Because if we do not know exactly what our desires are, if we do not know what we want from that partner, right? And not knowing ourselves, what actually makes our heart sing, how can we expect to invite somebody into our life and actually make us happy? Because this is a wrong thinking that everybody is living by in common hour thinking, where they think, okay, when I have this person, that person is going to make me happy. But nobody in this life is there to make us happy but ourselves. Once we connect with that truth and understand that once I am in love with myself, like Angus mentioned, right? Once I'm in love with myself, then I am ready to invite that partner who can also love me for who I am, and I love him for who he is. And that work is becoming like this ongoing lifetime project that you both enjoy because you do adjust, you understand your partner better. And like you said, you haven't loved each other the way you are loving right now. Because I guess once we are moving from one level of awareness to the next, we become more connected, we become more closer, we understand each other more. And this is the beauty of actually having that love that really speaks your language and also being on a similar mission.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. What you're saying is that the opportunity to grow and get to our next level becomes available with our partner. If we didn't, if I was going at it, whether it's in my career or other things like on my own, the opportunities that we encounter because we have conflict, because we look at things differently, because we're able to talk through them and work through them, that allows us to look at our own baggage, our own triggers, and also how can we be more flexible or compassionate in specific ways, in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it. Bruno, would you like to say something?
Talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry, like it bugged a little bit. Yeah, no, I loved everything that was said. I think it was like fantastic, and I'm very happy for you guys that I can see it in your face, like you really love each other. The way you look at it, that's so amazing. Like I'm very happy for you. And yeah, that's very awesome. Well, I'll tell a little bit about like me and Irina. So, I mean, Irina can tell her apart, but when it comes to my part, I was single for 5 years. And Irina is she's very much, she's not my age, let's say, right? So, obviously I was a copywriter at the time and I was doing freelancing, right? And I reached out to her because, I wanted a new client. That's it, basically, that was it. So I sent her the most like scripted message ever. And I just, like a usual like salesperson, right?
Okay.
And yeah, that was it. And she replied, and she, yes, okay, let's meet for Zoom. Yeah, I'm ready for some email copywriting, whatever, whatever, whatever. And so we met up, and we by Zoom. And I remember, like when it was me, the way I felt was when I first saw her. Um, I still remember about it. Like it was like I have known her all my life.
Wow.
It was like my intuition was saying like that's it. That's it. So when that happened, it was like, and I don't know if it was like same, like similar cultures. I don't know if it was like the way she is, again, because of culture. But again, like there was something there that I felt. And so we talked for 3 hours, or I talked for 3 hours. And yeah, basically. And yeah, I just never shut up. And that doesn't happen very often because that happens when I'm on my own. But when I'm with other people, I'm quiet. I'm a very quiet person. Like I'm very like, okay, you talk and I'll just say something, whatever. But with her, it was like blah, 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 like I never stopped, like I said, blah, 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 blah. and and that was it. And then like she did accept it, the copywriting. She gave me the chance, and I did some stuff. But along that way, we we helped each other a lot because I know Irina was also going through a divorce, and
Mm.
whenever she had a problem, she'd call me, or she's this or she that, and I listen to her and I give her advice within what I know. Um, yeah, and like she also helped me a lot. Like I used to be a very angry person in the past, and I had some anger issues that I had to take care of, and Irina knows, and I have no problem in saying it here and there. Like sometimes, like it still doesn't click well. Um, but it's not like nothing like before, obviously. And I'm much more calm and stuff. And Irina managed to give me a chance, and she believed in me, and that's something that not a lot of people have ever did, which is believe in me. I have divorced parents. I grew up with no father, so it was just me and my mother, right? And so when that happens, it's like a lot. There's a lot of traumas that come that you don't have a grown man to look up to and rest yourself easily onto, right? Um, and so you end up like developing a lot of things, a lot of mental health stuff. You develop a lot of trauma, a lot of and then you bring that onto your life. And I feel like Irina was capable of noticing that, seeing my potential, and seeing who I really was for who I was, and just loving me that way. And that's something that I will never be able to thank her enough, right? Because that's worth more than anything, right?
Yeah.
And that literally, so it's like even if like me and Irina, like even if we are like 5,000 kilometers at a distance, so she's in NYC and I'm in London, but not London, but I'm in England. She has done like, apart from my mother, right? She has done more for me at a distance than any other girl or woman has ever done for me face to face, apart from my mother, obviously. And that's just, it's rare. It's rare. It's like you don't see that everywhere. Some people never see that ever. So imagine how blessed we are.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's really about it, about like my side of it, and how I feel about it. And Irina knows that I value her. I tell her every single day, anyways. But but yeah, so and as well, because like when it comes to me, like understanding her, um, she also taught me like how to communicate, right? So like a lot of times, I project onto her, right? And she was like, no, like I don't want you to tell me this, or I don't like when you say it this way, or this or that. And but I didn't say it this way. Oh, but but this. I was like, oh, okay, fine. So this is what you believe. Okay, no problem. So I'll try to do this. And I ran into the same things. Like I say, yeah, but you did this. You said this. Yeah, but I didn't say that way. Oh, okay. So you don't like it this way. Okay, I'll change it. So it's like just because you start dating or just because you like each other, that doesn't mean that you know how to deal with each other. And it's a constant, like every day you're constantly like being better for your partner, being better for yourself, right?
Yep.
So I think that's the adaptation. That's the I believe in you enough to change. I'm changing for myself first and foremost. But if I change for myself, I mean, you do nothing but benefit from it anyway. So whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
I love what
I
you're
think that
saying. One of the things it brings up for me is how I used to think that you could just on your own do your own healing work and then attract a partner. And there is some of that that's absolutely true. And you don't even know all the things that are down there until you're in a relationship with somebody who can, whether intentional or accidental, push your buttons and go, why is this thing coming up for me? And when you have that partner who does push your buttons, whether it's intentional or accidental, but holds the space for you to see what's going on within you and sees you moving through that and healing that and calls you higher, to me, that is like the next level of having a great relationship, is that you inspire somebody to look within, right, see what's going on, see them through it, and like hold that space for them to heal and to move into their next level. And I like to call that the upward spiral. When she's willing to look at herself and she heals and gets better, I'm inspired the next time that something happens to look within and see what I need to do to level up to my next level. And then we just both keep getting better and our relationship keeps getting better. And it's powerful when you have that dynamic. And I see glimpses of that in what you guys have created for each other.
Oh, thank you so much, Angus. And I just wanted to add that when we initially met, I actually was manifesting the partner. Although I was still in the marriage, I realized that, the more I was working on myself, the more I realized how we were growing apart rather than together. And I was actually manifesting the partner who would understand what I'm doing, who would be happy to do the same thing that I was doing. And that's how Bruno came to my life. And I remember like our first initial conversation. Next day, I'm leaving the message on to him and say, let's have some podcasts together. It just, like the idea just generated, it just dropped. So
Yeah.
then we are sitting on Zoom, like figuring out what is a good podcast about. And I was like, I love to talk about love and relationship. And he's like, yeah, I love the topic too. And then we came up with that name, right? And Mayan, before we got live, Mayan was like, okay, tell me what is Love It or Shove It. And I said, yeah, because some people watch these episodes and they absolutely love it. They absolutely connect it. And for somebody, it's like, okay, this is not my jam, and it's absolutely okay. So they could just shove it, right? Just put it to the side and say, okay, this is not who I am.
Right.
And that's absolutely fine. So basically, our vibe attracts our tribe, and we are welcoming everybody who is in sync with that or who wants to explore and to connect with what we are here to give and to teach others. So that's just like in a nutshell. But I did actually manifest Bruno because I was doing it consciously.
Love that. Will you share, you had that Power of 8 thing?
Yeah, I had a very similar experience, Irina, where I was going through a divorce, and a friend of mine had invited me to join this intention group called Power of 8, and it's based on the book Power of 8. And the principle is that if you have 8 people that come together and you focus on one singular intention and you pray or meditate on it, right, that the power of those 8 people coming together can create miracles. And so healing, manifestations, pregnancies, partnership have all come out of it. And so I was participating in this group, and this was way before I had met Angus, but because I was going through a divorce, I was, in my mind, that was the most pressing thing, was I wanted to be in this type of relationship. And I didn't name names. I didn't, do anything. It was just, how do I want to feel? What was the experience I want to create in a relationship? And so I wrote it all out. And when it was my turn to share my intention, being the hot seat, right, we focused on it. And recently, a few weeks ago, a friend of mine, my friend who organized it, invited us to come on for her birthday, and we did another round of Power of Eight.
It was like a 5-year reunion or something.
Yeah,
right?
it was a 5 or 6 years, and
What about 5?
so it just triggered within me. I was like, oh, I want to look up what my intention was. How did I write it? And what does it look like now? And so I went back and I read it, and every single word, everything that I'd written down was exactly the type of relationship that we have in terms of growth and support and laughter and joy. Like everything came true. And what was even crazier was that the day that I was picked to be in the hot seat was actually Angus's birthday.
Oh my.
Yeah. And I didn't know him. We didn't know each other at the time.
As she was reading what she had written and what she had shared,
That's
both
crazy.
of us got emotional because
Mm.
everything that was in there
Mhm.
was literally what we have created together.
Yeah.
And like, it's almost miraculous to put that out, to God or to the universe, whatever it is, but what you really want, like what you really want to experience, and then stand in agreement with people for that. Like, it's amazing what you can create. And we like to say, well, we help people attract into their lives, or when you're in a couple relationship and you want to take it to that next level, we believe it can be better than you imagine. And so we want to help you create that vision and hold that vision. And we stand for you to attract that type of partner and create that type of relationship that is the best relationship that any of your friends have ever seen, that inspires them, inspires the world, inspires your children, because they didn't know love could be that powerful, that creative,
that life-giving.
Yeah, life-giving, miraculous. Like, there's so much that love can do when you create it with intention.
Yes, I love what you guys share. And this is what I love for people to connect more and more, because not too many people believe in miracles, believe in manifestation, and everything else in between. So our job is to, by sharing our stories, that they come up as a magic, right? But the more you connect to that magic, the more you realize that everything has our thought power. So what we are thinking about, everything comes from invisible to the visible world. And we just have to be more intentional, like Mayan said, more intentional, and focus our energy on something what we want, rather than keeping worrying about something that we do not want, right? And that's what the majority of people are doing. They're just living in the condition driven life, where they constantly looking at, like, what can I have based on my education, my age, and everything else, rather than saying, okay, just forget about everything what I see. What about what I truly want? What is something that I want to connect to, right? And that's the beauty of our creative energy, because we are always creating, right? And a lot of people do it unconsciously, and this is our job to teach people how to do it more consciously.
I want to, you're right there. And I want to really drive this point home, because the intention is critical. But what you just said is even more important, because it's not just that they're unconsciously manifesting. We are always unconsciously manifesting. And so what happens is some people create the intention from their conscious mind. That is only so powerful. It's what you actually believe and expect at the unconscious level that you're going to manifest. And so you can set those intentions like she did and state them with your conscious mind. But if you don't do the work to clear out and align your unconscious mind with those conscious intentions, those fears, those anxieties, those worries, those hurts, those pains, those traumas, the betrayals, the rejections that are in your unconscious are going to continue to manifest those types of people, those types of relationships. So the intention is huge, but it has to be brought into alignment. Otherwise, you're going to not get the results that you swear, I've done everything. I know how to do it all. I've made the vision board. What's down here? Is it truly in alignment with what's up here? And if it's not, you're not going to get those same results.
Yeah. And I'll add real quick that the intention that I wrote, the person that I needed to become in order to be living that intention, who I am now, is so different from the person who actually wrote it.
Yeah.
Like, I needed to evolve. I needed to grow. I need to let go of a lot of stuff before I was able to receive the type of love that we have now, but that we've created now. So yeah, you guys are all, you're absolutely right.
I love it. I love it. You know what? I have the question to each one of you.
Okay.
Like how do you combine love and business and passion together to give you the best, right? Because sometimes, let's face it, the business can take away because we are all working on some kind of mission that we have. And how do we balance everything together, right? Because for us, me and Bruno, we still haven't seen each other. It's like over 2 years that we've known each other. We haven't seen physically each other. Obviously, we talk on the phone all the time.
Mm.
Obviously, we get on Zoom together, but we haven't physically met up until now.
Okay.
And my question is, how do you balance love, business, and passion and everything else?
Mm,
You want to go first?
sure. So I'll be honest. I mean, I'll be authentic.
Candid,
I mean, candid. Yeah, this is definitely something that we are learning and growing into, because I came from a corporate background before creating my own business, and that's a very different mindset. It's a different perspective to be your own boss, to be running your own business, and then now to run it with your partner. It can be so easy for us to talk business around the clock, from the time we wake up until we go to bed at night, and weekends. I mean, it can be nonstop if we're not intentional about it. And I think that's the key for us and we're still learning how to do it in a way where we're still getting stuff done, and also we can have time for ourselves. So one of the things that we have done a pretty good job at is designating a date night where we go out, and we'll be pretty intentional about not talking about business, but we have practices in place where we're really focused on our relationship. So we have, you've probably heard Angus talk about this, but a gratitude journal that we write in every week, and we read to each other during the date nights. And so practices like that, where we are coming together and letting go of the business stuff, so that we can focus on one another. Bruno's got, yeah, you got your your own version too. I love it. Yeah, so I would say having designated time, really blocking that out so that we're intentional, right? It goes back to being intentional about what we're creating and what we want to experience. And otherwise, I mean, like parents with kids, it can be so easy to have kids or our business, which feels
is
like
a
our
passion.
kid. Yeah.
It's a passion, so it's easy to just pour everything into it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That can
you get to
easily
have
take
good
over.
boundaries. I think boundaries are important, where you are intentional about, when do we call it the end of the day? When do we take time off on the weekend? And like, we may have great ideas. Put a note in your phone to follow up with that on Monday, because otherwise it can just all of a sudden you're just in a business relationship and you're not really in a real relationship with the person. So I think that's critical. But also, like, setting a long-term vision. And I challenge most men with this. I believe it's the man's responsibility to have the big picture of where the future is going, and to enroll his woman into that with him. And that doesn't mean that he's the only one setting the vision. Like a good dance partner, I get to lead, but I also get to take the information that she's giving me. Like, okay, yeah, but like, what if we did this? Oh, that's a good point. Okay, now keeping that vision fertile, like verdant, alive, not too far in the future. That's something that's attainable. So we constantly have something to orient to, I think, is really important.
I love what you share. Bruno, would you like to add something to that?
Yeah. So it just came to my head, and what came to my head was like compatibility, right? So obviously you're not going to be 100% compatible, right? There's things that you're going to adapt. And so with me and Irina is like, I'm a very, when it comes to myself, Irina can back me up on this. I'm a very extreme person. I'm a bit of an extremist.
Okay.
So if I'm very happy and fulfilled, I'm very happy and fulfilled. If I'm very angry, I'm very angry. If I'm very sad, I'm very sad. And it's not like a roller coaster, you know. Because sometimes me and Darina we joke, and Darina's like, "Oh, I don't have time for a roller coaster. I'm not now." So it is kind of funny. She laughing because it's funny. Um, and it's like, yeah, and so I'm a very black and white person. Like, it's like this. That's it. I say no. This way, we're gonna do it this way. That's it. Doesn't matter. Can we do it in a month? We're gonna do it in a month. Can we do it in 2 weeks? Oh yeah, I know, but I want to do it in a month. No, we're gonna do it in 2 weeks. It's gonna be done. No problem. And I'm very much like that. Like, I'm very like forward, 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 forward. And I don't look much to backwards. I just go forward. And Arena is more like, no, it's okay. Like, like, let's take our time and stuff. And I think, like, she kind of, like, with me, she gave some color into my life in terms of, like, not happiness, because obviously, she makes me happy, but more in terms of, like, she opened my head to other ideas of, like, maybe this can be done slower.
Yeah.
Maybe if we don't rush this, maybe it can be done even better. Yeah, sure, I can do this in 2 weeks and it can be done good, but maybe if I take a month, it can be done better,
Sure.
right? Because my problem is not doing it slow. My problem is not knowing what to do, because when I do, it's like super fast, like super fast. And I mean, it's like, I know what to do. I'm just gonna take my time. So when that happened, when she was like that, it actually annoyed me. It triggered me in ways that I can't even explain. It's like, do it now, just do it now. Well, we can do it faster, woman. Well, what? Let's do it now. It's like, no, it's okay. It's like, oh my god, okay. But then again, it's like, but I feel like even her as well. I think, because I'm noticing it, like, even now, like, when it comes to software, when I met her, she didn't understand much about software. Now, when it comes to creating pages, when it comes to email automation and everything, she's super fast. She's faster than before. So I feel like, she knew what she was doing. She knows even better now. But I guess, like, she's also like more speed. So I think she also got that from me.
Hmm.
And a little bit here and there, not everything, obviously, and not everything myself about like taking it slow and stuff. But again, like, there's a complementation. Like, you can always learn something from your partner.
Mm-hmm.
I love this, and this is something that we teach, and I want to give you guys credit for this, because I call this emotional maturity, and that, to me, there are 4 stages. Level 0 is intolerance. It's the part where you're like, oh, you drive me crazy. I can't believe you see it that way. Like, I can't even stand how you handle that. We don't fit together. Level 1 is, oh, I see how you think and I accept it. So acceptance is like the first level. Like, okay, all right, that's how you think. Okay. The second level is respect. Oh, I see how you think about that, and I respect your opinion. I don't agree with it, but I respect why you make decisions that way, how you think. Like, I respect it. But where I see you guys transitioning is to level 3, and that's appreciation. Like, oh, I want to go, 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 go. She wants to slow down and do it with excellence. I appreciate, like, she's slowing me down, but it's to my benefit now. And when a couple can go into that level 3 appreciation, you think very differently than me. And thank God, because I make mistakes in this area, whatever the area of life is, you see it from a different perspective. That's to my advantage. You make me better, the fact that you don't think like me. And now I'm so thankful to not just have you listen and do it my way. I'm thankful to have you do it your way. And I get to grow from that. And you guys you just showed us an example of how that works in your life. And so I love that.
Oh my God, I love it. And
That's
like that's
Sure.
bringing me to the question as what, like, once we work on ourselves, we can handle better the conflicts, right? Again, a lot of people do not appreciate the work. What does it mean to work on myself? I work at my work, right? The best thing that they can answer, I work at my work. That's
Yeah.
it. I come home, I just want to rest. But
Mm.
the idea is, can you like really handle the arguments, the conflicts in a more peaceful way? Because, like, I was in the relationship for 24 years, and the last 10 years were kind of just, like, I just don't want to even involve into the argument because I know that there is no right or wrong. It's just like somebody to blame for, right? So I was like that person that was always avoiding these arguments, and I would just like take myself away from that. But again, the more I was in that position, the more I realized that this is not the way to live going forward. And like I'm just pretty sure whoever is listening to this conversation right now, just for them to do a little audit of their relationship, whether this is just boyfriend and girlfriend, whether this is just like really marriage, because a lot of times we are settling just because we are staying in that fear that what's going to happen once we exit out from that. And my invitation to everyone who is listening, knowing that once you exit out, it's always going to be better. Because rather than sitting and wondering and feel miserable, just, like step out of that territory and just allow yourself to experience something amazing.
Yeah. I love one of the things we've talked about how all of us kind of have gone through a breakup or a divorce of some kind. And it's easy from an outsider perspective to be like, oh, I should just get divorced. That will make it easier. And I want to point out that leaving a relationship and not doing the work on yourself is not going to make it better. You're going
Totally.
to have to fight that battle at some point in the future. And as soon as you begin to change, like by definition, your relationship changes. So if you're listening right now and you're in that relationship where you're like, I don't know, like it's not going how I thought it was going to go. It's maybe I should just pull the plug. When you begin to change, that relationship has to change because you're a different person. So it has to be a different relationship. And if you can be consistent in your growth and not immediately think that, oh, I'm growing and I'm leaving you behind and you're not keeping up, that's a place of judgment. That's not going to help. But if you can be consistent in your growth, you will inspire your partner to also grow and become better. And when you both do that and you stop, like what you were just talking about, Arena, of like, we just have these conflicts and these fights. Hidden within every conflict is an opportunity for deeper connection, especially when you can remember that we are a team and the problem is outside of us. We are going to solve this problem together instead of we're against each other and you're the problem and you need to change so that I can be happy. When we can keep that in mind, that we are on the same team and you look at it differently than I look at it, and thank God that helps me. Now let's put our heads together and solve the problems in our relationship. You can create a great relationship if you want to, and if you can enroll your partner in wanting to with you.
I love it. And you know what I love about Bruno? That he is actually open for like for the comments, for the feedback, and also he is willing to change for better, because that's exactly the partner that I was calling in. Because like my ex was very stubborn only in his way, and it's difficult when you have the person who is fixed minded. You cannot really work much around it. So basically, in any partnership, it's all about to stay open minded and see beyond themselves, what, like beyond your ego, right? Because a lot of times this is something that you can actually learn, because we were not born this way, right? And the more we work on ourselves, the more we realize and the more we can actually come up with these beautiful and happy relationships. Because when people are willing to express themselves and they are open and they know that they're not going to be judged or shut up, or like just like really like misunderstood. That's the beauty of the relationship, when two people are willing to stay open and listen openly to another person point of view, and do not scream back at their face, do not try to prove their point, but more like just allowing that person to express what's on their mind. Like even with Bruno, like sometimes I'm like, I have to like I have to express everything, and he's like, can I already talk? Yes, but like it's great because like we have each other just to have the check, and just like really, and it's all about respect, right? When people respect each other, they allow each other to be themselves.
Yeah, so good. I love what you're saying about So what's bringing up for me is the inner work. We talked about we need to do the inner work, and what that looks like, I think partially is looking within, right? When we get into an argument, it's not just about what we're arguing about. If I'm getting triggered, if I'm getting angry, it's bringing up some kind of emotion. I'm reacting to it because of some experience in the past that feels very similar to what's going on right now. And a lot of times we don't realize that it's a stacked emotion that we've felt, from childhood. Something happened and it created this experience of, oh my gosh, when someone does this, this is how I feel. And my partner, when he's doing something that makes me upset, it's actually bringing up that memory of that experience and emotion. But a lot of us aren't aware of that. So the part of the inner work is to have awareness into what's really going on. You're saying something that's upsetting me, but you know what? It's actually triggering me to, maybe as an example, right? Like if you said, I don't know, if you said something like, I'm a terrible cook, which I am, because I can find anything to mess up, like pizza.
One time I went out of town and she cooked chicken, but when she put the chicken in the pan, the little like blood catcher like pad at the bottom of the chicken, like she cooked that with the chicken. And like I love that she's
I ate it anyways.
She didn't eat the pad.
I didn't eat the pad, but I cooked it in it and I ate the chicken anyways, because I'm like, I spent a lot of time cooking it. I'm just gonna eat it. No one else is gonna feed me right now. But
Yeah.
using that as an example, if you said to me, you're a terrible cook, Mayan, and that made me angry, it's like, oh, I can't do anything right. It's a simple statement that you made, but it triggered within me, I can't ever do anything right. And that's a belief that maybe I developed from my parents saying that to me, or teachers saying that to me, or something like that, right? But if we can take responsibility for our emotions and what that triggers, and we're looking at our relationship from that perspective, it's not, you're saying this, but it's not just this that's coming up. Then what you were saying, Irina, of having the environment, having a partner who is open, who is willing to listen to what's going on, ask questions that are supportive, help you uncover what's really going on, then there's this environment where you can actually grow together and heal past some of these things. So,
just for the record,
yeah,
I think that you are so sexy when you're smart and silly like that.
Oh, I love it. So good. Yeah, it's just like I love to talk about everything because like we are all humans. We also make mistakes. We also screw
Yeah.
up things, and that's what connects us to everybody who is tuning in and listening. And because a lot of times people are watching and they think, oh, okay, but that's them, but it's not me, right? And the idea is we also went through that path where we were where somebody is right now, right? And we are just saying that this is not a sentence, it's just the season. And the more you think about it, the more you are looking for the answers, you will definitely find them. And I love what you are doing, guys. So tell a little bit more, like what really makes you do what you are doing together as the business, as the passion. Why do you do what you do?
Yeah. So at Your Epic Love, which is our company, we focus on helping people heal so that they can attract their ideal partner, or if they're already in that relationship, nourish and create what we call an epic love. And that is the type of love that where you share your passions, you share mission, you share a goal for life, and you learn how to kind of do what we're doing. You're creating a business, you're creating a movement, and you're in love with your partner. And both of those things are better because you're with that partner. So we help a lot of women do just a few little things to become love, to magnetize and attract that ideal partner, and then keep that going so that you have that lifelong love story. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, from my personal experience, and we've talked about this a lot too, is having a partner, having this type of relationship that you just described, it makes you feel like you can do anything, right? And it really does help 10x your business. It helps expand you in ways that wouldn't have happened had you not have this type of support, this type of partner to create a legacy with, to create inspiration with,
to uplift each other,
to uplift, one another, to support one another. So, even in ways like we've talked about business, and how on days where you are struggling, you're suffering, right? You come home and you have this partner that you can just, their arms are wrapped around you, and you can let go, right? And that is so supportive. And then there's other areas where I know for me personally, spiritually has been an area where, because of who you are and how you show up and the way that you have modeled God's love, love with Jesus, it has inspired me to open up my heart to that. And that wouldn't have happened had I, well, it's funny because when we first started dating, I was like, Angus, what are your religious beliefs? Because I've been in the past where I felt judged, right, for my beliefs. And I really wanted a partner who would respect my beliefs. And I was still in the discovery phase of what are those beliefs, but whatever they are, I just want a partner who is willing to be open to what I believe and respect them. And I remember asking you, like, wait, are you super religious? Because that is a non-negotiable if, that's going to happen. And just the way that you have shown up to be so open-minded, accepting, respectful, and appreciative of me has actually opened up my heart to God, and so I think in a long about way to respond to your question, I just think that when this type of love is present in your life, when you're supported like that, it makes every area of your life just elevate and expand to a whole new level beyond what you could have imagined.
That's what we call epic.
Yeah, I love it. There is that song, I forgot who is singing. He says, "Love is my religion." I just love that song. And, like if we think about it, everything is love, right? And we were born from love. And the more love we pour on each other in this planet, the world becomes a better place. And I love, guys, what you are doing in this world. And like my another manifestation to come to fruition at sooner than later is for me and Bruno travel the world and speak on the stages and talk about love, and how like we can all have exactly the love that we desire. It's not bounded by the age, by our status, by anything, but just to have that desire for that exceptional love that we are dreaming, and just make more couples to be more happy and understand that everybody can have love. There is no such a thing as love is not in my cards. It's just something that people are believing, right? Like Mayan said, it's all about upgrade your beliefs, and you are going to experience the magic in this life.
Yeah,
Agreed.
beautiful.
Yeah. Perfect.
Bruno, would you like to add something to that?
Very hard, because yeah. No, I mean, yeah. Well, I think that again, I think we touched on a lot of good points. We touched on compatibility. We touched on adaptability. We touched on like emotional maturity, like Angus said it very well. And yeah, I feel like this conversation will help a lot of people, because if there is something that is real, is miracles. And I feel like my relationship with Irene is a complete miracle. Your relationship is a complete miracle, Angus and Mayan. The way it happened, the way it happens, the fact that it's a blessing that you both like have the emotional maturity of turning what a common person would see as a negative, you turn it into a positive, right? um and then again, it's like just to be open to understanding, to be open to loving the person. Like I, for example, like I'm in sales, and it's 8:53. I want to go sleep because I'm dead, I'm finished. I'm really finished, and I do like on the phone, so I'm calling people, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I do like 100 and $200 a day. I was doing more, I mean, not long ago. um but before I was like, oh, I'm so tired, I don't want to talk with anybody, but now I'm like, wait a second, you're gonna talk with your girlfriend, bro? Like, come on, man. Like, I look at myself and I'm like, bro, you're gonna talk to your girlfriend. Like, there's not really I mean, apart from your mother and your family, there's not really a better person to talk to anyways.
Yeah.
you know, because like, and and so, like again, like turning into a positive. Yeah, you're tired, but you're not gonna talk to anybody random. You're gonna talk to your girlfriend. You're gonna talk to the person that you like, that likes you as well. Why wouldn't you want to talk to somebody that likes you?
Yeah.
You
Especially
know,
when she lifts you up.
especially when she loves, especially when she believes in you,
Yeah.
and especially when, you know, um, because I ain't gonna lie, like I'm gonna be 24 next week, right? And like we have 28 years difference, right? So I'm like, with all honesty, like honestly, I'm like, you could find somebody so much better than me. Like it's just I'm 20 fucking four, mate. Like what the fuck? Like are you out of your mind? But she didn't do that, and she knows how my life is, and she knows I'm still growing and I'm still learning, and she still stays by my side. So it's like there's not like you're not beating that. Like no matter who you are, you're not beating that. You're just not beating it because it's a blessing, right? So yeah, that's kind of my point of view. And then plus when I zoom out, when I was 15, 16, 17, and I went through a very rough breakup, right? And it was very hard for me, which I was young anyways, but it still hurt a lot. Um, I was wishing for this, right? This is what I was wishing for somebody like Arena,
Yeah.
right? I was wishing for somebody who was mature, who believed in me, who was serious. Because throughout the 5 years where I was like completely single, there were a lot of girls, a lot of girls that came up. Some of them were 3 years older. Some of them were six. Others were my age, right? But none of there was something missing there. I felt like there was something missing there, right? Um, and I still felt like no, it's not supposed to be, like. And then when Irina came in, we do the same thing. We want to do the same thing. We have the same purpose. I was like, okay, this is it. That's it. So it's like again, it's like I can only like give a lot of gratitude to God and to the universe, depending on your beliefs, for who I have because you know yeah, I feel like a lot of people would literally like they literally kill like to have like something like for example you have with Mayan Angus
Yeah.
and I have with Irina, right? So
Yeah. I
so
love
yeah,
that.
that's fantastic.
It reminds me, my oldest son, just got married in November.
Yeah.
And the night before the wedding, we were at the reception dinner or the rehearsal dinner. And, everybody's going through like the buffet line, getting food and stuff. And her, my daughter-in-law's aunt, who I'd never met before, I found myself like kind of aside talking to her. And she said, I think that they both married up. And first of all, that's a huge compliment to me as this young man's father.
Yes.
And I loved that sentiment. And it made me think of us. And in my past, I've always kind of talked down to myself or debased myself a little bit of like, oh, I'm so lucky to be with you. And at that moment I realized like, no, I'm lucky to have her and she's lucky to have me. Like
Totally.
I get to step into my greatness. Because if I
Mhm.
don't, then she's getting robbed.
Mhm.
It's one thing to elevate your partner and like lift them up, but if you don't lift yourself up and you don't deserve them and you're not a blessing to them, or if you think you're better than them, like neither one of
Mhm.
those things is helpful. So like how
Totally.
do you build something that you both are married up, that you both are
Mhm.
inspiring each other, that you both deserve each other? Because when you do that, and that's what I see you guys working on and working toward, like when you do that, like it just keeps getting better when you're
Mhm.
committed to that.
Mm. Beautiful, brilliant. I just love that. And I just wanted to wrap up on these beautiful words. And again, it's thank you so much. It's such a blessing for you to show up today. So we all four of us can have a great that conversation. Actually, it's just like I feel like like having the best friends around us, and everybody is like listening to our stories, and like I trust it inspires a lot of people who might lost the hope that they can actually attract the true love. Just to say that stay intentional and know exactly what you want, and the universe is going to deliver. But don't forget to do the inner work. That's why connect with Mayan and Angus, connect with me and Bruno, and let's just continue creating something magical in our life. Thank you so much, and we would be happy to have you coming back to our talk show with another topic. And for everybody who's tuning in, would love to know what you are thinking about doing the work together and living the love life together. All right, on that note, thank you so much. And everybody have a blessed day, and see you on the next episode.
Thank
Bye.